indigenous people shall be observed on 9 August in every year. And the date marks the first meeting in 1982 of the United Nations Working Group on Indigenous Populations. And since then, this World Indigenous Day is celebrated in all over the country. And the significant development on 13 September 2007, the General Assembly adopted on the right of the indigenous people UNG, where a major milestone with respect to the cooperation and solidarity between indigenous people and the member state. This declaration is the most comprehensive international instrument on the right of the indigenous people. There in this article, United Nations Declaration of Right of Indigenous People, you have 46 articles. I just want to highlight in this audience some of the issues. So, article number 2. Indigenous people and individuals have free and equal to all other peoples and individuals and have the right to be free from any kind of discrimination in the existence of their right, in particular that based on the indigenous origin of identity. There are so many out of 46. So, article number 6. Every indigenous individual has the right to nationality. Say article number 10, indigenous people shall not be forcibly removed from their land or territories. No reallocation shall take place without the free, prior and consent of the indigenous people concerned and after agreement on just and fair compensation where applicable with the option of return. This is some of the article. I just want to highlight some of the points. And again, some of the development, that is outcome document of the World Conference of Indigenous People, WCIP, resolution adopted by the General Assembly on 22nd September 2014. There are also so many points, important issues to safeguard the indigenous people of all over the state, all over the world. Free, prior and informed consent before adopting any implementing legislative or administrative measure that may affect them. So, in relevant to our state, in this August gathering, I just want to highlight some of the core demands of our state in order to safeguard and protect the indigenous people of our state. So we also began the appeal and urge the state government as well as the union government inclusion of Borok language in Roman script on the schedule of the Constitution of India. This is number 1. I have only 4 points. Number 2, the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act 1987, which is also known as Inner Line Permit, should be introduced in the state of our state. The present Tripura TTADC be elevated to autonomous state under Article 244A of the Constitution of India. Granting incorporation of special constitutional provisions 371J for 50% reservation in assembly state for the STs aborigines from the soil of Tripura in view of the constitutional 126 amendment date 2019. Actually, after the formation of the Indian Constitution of India, this reservation was kept for 20 years. Then again, by this bill, it was continued up to 2030. After that, this will be the revised again. That's why I am referring this Constitution Amendment Bill. The second is for continuous reservations in service and the educational institution and other government facilities for ST of Aborigines from the soil of Tripura to get more than 50% in the state of Tripura. These are the 4 points. And at time, I, on behalf of the Joint Action Committee, Civil Society, really request all the section of the society, as well as the indigenous people and the new generation Gen Z, to come forward together for protection of our legitimate rights. Through implementation of the United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People have the right to self-determination. Indigenous people have the right to participation in any. Indigenous people have the right to territories and resources which they have traditionally owned, occupied, or otherwise used or acquired. Obtain free prior and informed consent before adopting and implementing legislative or administrative measures that may affect indigenous people. Free prior and informed consent is vital for indigenous people to exercise their own vision of development. Stop land alienation of indigenous people, stop racial discrimination against indigenous people, and ensure indigenous women and children to enjoy the full protection and guarantees against all forms of violence and discrimination. That's all from my part, and long live Joint Action Committee of Civil Society, long live indigenous people all over the world. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words and warm welcoming. And now I would like to request Mr. Satyarayam, President of. Okay, so now I would like to request Mr. Shantirayam, President of BSU, to give his valuable words.
Pwede jotano sa kaham ini Joint Action Committee of Civil Societies by Susamo International Day for World's Indigenous People Bo Palok Manisang Ro Panome Penai Atupang Showa Atunai Atupang Bagrao Atupang Bagrao Ake Jotome Penai Takum Pro I'm very happy to be invited to this occasion and the observance of this International Day for all indigenous peoples. We belong to this group of people who are called indigenous. There are about 4,076 million people all over the world, indigenous people, and this population forms 2% of the entire population of the world. But these people are very much disadvantaged people, very vulnerable people. The language they speak is very vulnerable. It is estimated that indigenous language is disappearing. One indigenous language is disappearing every 2 weeks. So our language is very vulnerable, and the indigenous people of the world, including us, though we are 2% of the population and the world population, but we form the 15% of the poorest people of the world. So there is the gravity of the our position. We are very poor people. And our rights concerning our land, concerning our language, and concerning our ways of life that is in danger to we being weak people, all groups of people, in the midst of a dominant society, our rights are either squeezed, curtailed, or snatched away in different way. Our rights are suffering. We suffer, really suffer. In this backdrop, we in Tripura, we know about our position. From independent kingdom and the ruler of the country, Tripura, now we are marginalized people. We are not in the mainstream, though we are in the mainstream of the people, but we live in the periphery. Our decision-making power is very limited. We are fighting to keep our dress, our ornaments, our culture. We are fighting for our language. I think during the seminar we'll discuss all these issues a bit elaborately. And I will not take much time. Only I'm happy to have the chance to present myself in front of you and share my thoughts on the Indigenous Day. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sir Satyarangan, President of PSCO, for your valuable words. Now I would like to request Mr. Sujal Debarma, Secretary of Branch Agriculture Foundation, to come and give his valuable words.
Judiciary Committee. First of all, respected Mr. Santirayam, President BSCU, ex-IAS, Dr. Vijay Devarma, President TDWS, and Convener of Joint Action Committee, Mr. Jibon Devarma, Joint Convener of Joint Action Committee, and of course the melody, Queen of Melody, Tajya Bhuya, Chini PALAIKHA Shinjak, by Kotor, by Torubala, the National Sangeet Natak Academy Awardee, and of course the Istri Sentuma Ramcharita Foundation awardee also, and other all distinguished members, my lovely friends, children, and of course the Jan G. I must warm welcome you and all. Lagi, kini angko kubang saya related this program, the International Day of World's Indigenous Peoples. The theme given by UN is honoring indigenous midwives, safeguarding life and well-being. What does it mean? Kini ko by tamang himpuno. Now this midwives means tamo kini ko by. Abo ang kini tunggo ang bubawi hangga sumani klay hangga kini okra bororok no. Actually, in villages, since 25-30 years back, besar bahake arcai. Jum itu ba nowadays saya ni tabu kita le jumpa kan hospital itu bui besar delivery kali jauh. But sedang pro sabuk lagi ke abo sini pok by lumajuk hinjago ni akhe lumajuk hinjak korok berduruk tengok abo nak kati jodian goal saya tengke pronunciation lumajuk ni akhe lumajuk wani ko behino dai badatri. Now, what is the relation or thing division or co-brony relation tamo? To give respect and honor or jorawo chini kering beriju bro jebabe busano safely besapariwo or koknotino online kita sijakman. So nowadays we are very advanced in medical science advanced. 3 dinas in Basabarna hospital to work. But we should not forget that their experience, skill, healthcare no jebabe bodo Basabaru 3 din. Hoy ba ang usaymiya an garo pahigaan mana ba kana at like that. Ang tabuti sa muito man pro. Bini bagay. Dear friends, this year's theme is very bigger than child part. It's about life. It's about women. It's about traditional knowledge. It's about our culture and identity. Taibo, it's about preserving the wisdom of our ancestors while building a better future for our children. The indigenous midwife, more than a midwife. How? In many indigenous communities, an experienced midwife has traditionally been much more than someone who assists a woman during delivery. She may be a caregiver, counselor, knowledge holder, and a trusted member of the community. Borong ni knowledge na sin respect na nai, sin mo pogi manglat. Borong o tradition na sin tabuk ni busang ni je medical science ni the advantage or comparison is not forget there. But we should not also opposite this we should correlate these two things. We are honoring the mothers and grandmothers who quietly serve their communities, often without recognition. We must recognize them without certificate and without expecting anything in return. Their reward was simply to see a mother and child safe and healthy. Takesha well-being. Angkok shortcut sa sinay physical health. What is that? The second important word, the thing, well-being. And now say, what is that? For indigenous communities, well-being has traditionally been understood in a broader sense. It is not only about physical health. It is also about family, community, culture, language, spirituality, mental well-being, and our relationship with nature and our surroundings. She should also receive respect. She should be able to express herself. Her culture should be understood. Her dignity should be protected, and her voice should be heard. Because healthcare becomes truly meaningful when it treats and whole person, not merely the illness. Finally, Singapore preserve makine, some respect makine, some honor makine. The main, ultimately, this night comes finally. And now, what is the relation with us now? These things with the team, with the people of Northeast and the people of Tripura. What is the relation? See, our region is rich in languages, traditions, customary practices, folk knowledge, community institutions, art, music, and deep connection with nature. In Tripura and across the Northeast, many of our elders still carry knowledge that has been accumulated over generations. But we must ask ourselves a serious question. What will happen to this knowledge when our elders are no longer with us? Jadi para kiri tungkai, para sampai to or hasar butangai. Because in time Thailand we must carry forward their identity, their knowledge, their skill in our future. Our young generation should be the opportunity to learn from our elders while also receiving modern education and scientific knowledge. There is no contradiction among these. So, ladies and gentlemen, the future should not be about choosing between tradition and modernity. It should be about creating a partnership. Traditional knowledge with modern science, community wisdom with professional healthcare, development with dignity, and most importantly, progress without losing our roots. We should not lose our roots. We should build systems where indigenous communities themselves have a meaningful voice in decision connecting their health, their culture, and their future. And or now what is the connection? I want to correlate with this thing in our daily life and our people's surroundings. Objectives of this International Day Awards designation: protect indigenous rights. What are the things that we have to protect, to preserve, to get our personal rights? Promote the protection of fundamental human rights and freedoms. Or Genji, especially I want to give this message through you only, to express, to provide the message throughout the of people. Promote self-determination. Support indigenous people's participations in decisions that directly affect their lives and communities. Preserve culture. Protect indigenous tradition, customs, languages, art, and cultural practices. Safeguard traditional knowledge. Recognize and preserve knowledge developed and transmitted across generations. Protect land and resources. Raise awareness about indigenous communities' relations with their traditional lands and natural resources. Here, the interesting thing is that we make this policy. The land right policy, healthcare policy, education policy, and through you want to give the message. We must involve, connect in policy making, decision making committee. Otherwise, our rights, our decisions will not come in favor of our people. Koksurus hamabai, bhakti tarimabai, speech the month is in a safeguard about into see now who will make the policy. Since definitely some authority is there, some department is there. I want to give the message those who are really playing their role as a politician. Je politician ragot tongnai borong policy making a thing in dino, and under them some administration, some officers categories, civil service categories peoples are there, those who are making this policy. Should give the focus, each and everyone through policing nai jate in favor of protection ti prasan magai ong nai ja amti khai angtho. I want to give this message again norong bisintoi je policy should in favor of our protection and our preservation chini borok ke bagai abo ong na angtho angkai kok bangsalia on behalf of Purangcha Richard Foundation. Once again, nang jotono ani kakaham hamjagma te kulumayari ani kok sama orang paidika. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Nili nang muli kok sai kelang bagri. Okay, sir sai kelang kok cini youth so kumbaga belan important is ngabono apply kini nang tu bisa ko to develop sakno improve kini nang develop kini nang ko. Okay, omoban chung first session no tini paitha khasin thami tamai tabu cini last speaker by. Amani ulah chung cini seminar session start khaina and seminar session to bela interesting joto no ajogi tamai di. Okay, tabu chung first session ni paitha kok khanalai ni barang barang Madam Torobala Lithani.
Good afternoon. Norokno nukhano sini khabao जों फाइमानि सिसालखा थांनानि जे सामबाखा आबोनो जे जों नुगै फाइमानो नरक तनुया आबोनो किसा शेयार खायनाय जों जे अरकक साइ थांनाय बरम गोनां सम गोबां माकक सालांगा किसा कक खुरजानाय जों कक फाइजा फाइनि फानो सिउइबो थाङो हायुं हानि बोसानि पालायनाय दङ औ जतनि न कायसे सिं दङ अ सिनि नंनो थाङि नारनानि खादिउइ नारनानि आबोनो जों जायतब्लाय दङ आगिनि बरक तुबुइ फाइबा बागिनो जों आसु जरा संपायो आगिनि बरक न पगै बइया हिस्ट्री पगैया हिस्ट्री गरिखाय present bogeri, future bogeri, burti jaluk mahai. Natai ni jowi tangkai, hayo kelai tanai, ia pang gerihan. Abu ni bagai, agi ni sini dangai mata kai mas dangai pasong siri siri wo, kebama medical science saya sini no, sini health no ti asukai borok, siuta, wan sugi naik abo scientific no. जों किसा नुग्रुखा ताबुक जों आं बोरैबा बुमानि कखनो किसा सावानो जों सा अगतैखेनो जों डाक्टार माखासे ग्लाजाव आगिंकाय चिनि रायदा बायनो चिनि बोरि रकनो बोखाव फानदु बोरि रकनो कायसा बेलाय खेनो कतर पजा Buri rok manjang mahai, il kaiman na, haipano, sago kelaiman ya bo belai no poja, belai no kiri masih cahaya juga. Apo ni bagai, agi sini bos hongotang kelai, sikli sakrani, besar ogotikai, talba pungkagai, kebeng mapakau. Tabu nugo. Talbangkai dokter rok, iron rok, tablet rok sarmani, podre pod, suci remani nugu. Sini kaki, abono tertui, iron sarma baik sanu. Berma betui, muitu, sakui, nini laifang, bekhabuik ni tong apru bumano, bumang nani, kisani kokya. Apru kamu siapa ni? Osai, tai, dai jelasa. Baru angkai dai jelangu. Tam nisa, aru sini kok togu. Biti hayabo, biti ni saya sitoru. Bomti nisa, wak ma bati batum, tok mati ti pitum. Oh dai jelasa kedak kenaga. Apa ke? Obumang nayo. Yaku musurui keteng senggei pada kota togu. คือขนาดสไรตาบุกซึ่งโซโนกราฟีเราใครมาหาไว้แค่ชินาดิชินบอร์เราซารุมาว่าไอรอนมังซารุเห็นแก่โอบุมังได้บอกกิสาเลมาวันสุโกอีเนชาเดโอไว้แค่ภาษาต้องมาเราไว้แค่ตีชาapa nih cara dia tiba apuro buri dok kebang mah bekawa pan man oi aji ni siri ni orang itu ro ki bijak na ya ni mawan suang dari si tahu terai besar dok tahu ni je education policy otam dong adolescence period ni ma poliusung sin bororok agi no si kelas asrok sangka no iri sa sore du beri besar dok no neng torka ni physically change kha neng sak no tabu kaham kai nai thok kai tam khlai dai thamo goi tom di abo chini su khlai ro basai pangrong ro kumui ro tong apro abo kaisa occasion hai no borok no budul ro arak ro aba ke bini bantalo li samata go kaisa ketal engka ati ni sing risatan ngani go surung kidu engka iya ba ke sini kebang ma sini samung ni bisin trinyo dungi to musung bumani logi di kote tang surungi to tamuk sung buthai bumuni bumung to bo khano sini kamani chumani bo bo kha angle kisami sati to ngai ba sai man thangi sara ringia tam sung kamu ông tươi tôi tao kan bani kujo kan bani yago kan bani busango kan bani ya bani sau ya kai apu ni biar mung to apu mung rok asukai khana to asukai meaningful abo oi sinai rok thangka ke porma ka bui bokrok tok chini to bui bo mangla apu ni bagai sung apu rok no boi siwi na thai wai sau chu thangai sayu চন্দ্রকলা তামান থক ম্যাডাম আর আনি প্র্যাকটিক্যাল যে আনি যে অভিজ্ঞতা তোমানি আমনো এক্সপেরিয়েন্স তোমানি নো শেয়ার খাইতো চন্দ্রকলা তো কই আবো তো মিষ্টি দোকান রবো সেমান থবো অরখাই চহা রছি হনবলা আপনি রকমি মা সাদা গে বুসাঙ্গো কামনা তো সুং চাং দুব রখনো okay kunjungi no kunjung wa kum toya obro pogi thangma jeta surang ro pogi thangma jeta khaju ro bo mani obai ke chini kebang marang chak richa chini hai kok kebang knato kupulung keri kurumpui asukai bang sung berai ke sijak sung cha thani nong thani bo sijak kan thani jum thani bo sijak sung u biti berai abo buita biti berai sima rung tharsiu ngam do to no sai mani tong bayu biti berai si no ti so no khorok sari tong u bona ji bai kian san laga sung thari ma tong siu hai di ba chini ya bo tong mani no sung abo no bur sisia mi hen mang la ji mang bo bui thang ba ja kok sana tu la ji su sung tabuk sung kok borok gari logo sakakai lasi lai hindi rok english or salayo sadi nong ni syllabus nong ni pora tiga se english di mas sanayo international boreng na nangayo national boreng na nangayo hai pano anyo ro thangkakai mani lok sangai this one no album no bengai ya thik no bono obasi ni sadi do ni omai ke ang apti lo sengki chamicha mas lainnya tazo lidi noro to tam sin si tai bu busy noro no musadi rezapti jadu ko dia serung biri tak dingkai noro no si tebo busy ti jar bangmani poder pot serung noro aban bagi noro busy sini bo klai temo belai kan klai tai sini bo sungbo sini tidak ngi bagi YouTube ro phano khati oi ma klangai khati oi to mo ra sam tong kebang ma to recording lo khai jadu kori ja song chini taku doctor video da poma kebang ma khati to engka oba je khati nai bo phai to nor bo tawa na di nor no chini no tui thanai homsang sunda homsang 어고시 동카 모지위 동카 아번 너롱이 타니 아니 베라이케 그사무 따이 꼬이무 따이 함작무 너로 따이 보고 조금까지 우 너카니타 아투구리 하게 정이 동기 그정의 정 베라이케 그릉 링야야 정 베라이 그릉 정 따이 꼬모리야 베라이 그릉 정말 부이를 타리 동무 간몽 주문 모르타로 짜몽 농모 모르트로 oil free spiceless abu suko mosla kering oil free sung bupalo selesai pemane abu bupalo national pe palo sabuk jaka bharot bhaskor potrika wo tripura ka हेल्दी खाना भोपाल का दिल त्रिपुरा ले लिया ने एप्टे अकड़े भजत बुझी खा आवला सुनो निजी निजी साकनो सुंकुन फर सिया ने तावान सुबे नर बेलाय गरुं सिंजेटेट गरुं नर ओया सिबाय नर बुथाय बाहाय मान रजामु बाहाय मान सुदो तान खायने जरा बाय बोखा दंखाय नंखा परासुना तो नांनाय आंसो साइनो तिनि न साल अबाहाय केने बिसि बुरुम सों पालायमा दंथुन नर गताय बबस्तां थायदि आसुकनो हामबाय द
Hambai. Okay, all my listening first session, Paikha, and after the first session, we are having second session. This will be the seminar session, and this session will be moderated by our respected sir, Mr. Manoj Jamatia, ex-Vice President of TEST. Okay, ang pula na bono nunay stage of kaya ko day bono niya jak kanya bagay. Te ano logi. Our second seminar session actually invited speakers from Our seminar actually invited speakers from Mr. Satyaram Riang, President BSCO, Ms. Ajita Tripura, President TEF, Advocate Anthony Deverma, ex-convener, Joint Action Committee, Mrs. Lakshmi Shastma, HOD Corporate, DBMC, and Mr. Nizar Gundu Molsom, Advisor, Molsom Youth Association, and panel speakers from Ujinero, Dr. TWS, and Chinero Tango, Advocate, Mintu Deberma, Member and Representative of TILA, and Orotongo, Chini Engineer Gautam Liang, Vice President TEST, Chini Orotongo, Dr. Kahandong Zamadia, Advisor UTF, and Chini Orotongo, very young person, Dr. Sudamai Deberma, and Olympic Deberma, ang jeje mungna kha, ang promotional request khainai, stage of khainai bagay, sini seminar session ni bagay. Mr. Satyaram Riang, President BSCO, Ms. Rasosni Chakma, HOD Corporate Department, Advocate Anthony Deverma, ex-convener, Joint Action Committee, Nizar Bunju Molsom, Advisor, Molsom Youth Association, Dr. Nizar Deverma, President, TDWS, Advocate Mintu Deverma, Member of TILA, Engineer Gautam Young, Vice President, TEST, and Dr. Kahamdung Jamatia, Advisor UTF, with the Dr. Thomas Molsom, Dr. Thomas Molsom, Assistant Professor, ITFA University Tripura, Dr. Sudamai, please come, and with that, Mr. Olympic, yes. So with that, we will be starting our second session, the seminar session, which will be moderated by Mr. Manoj Jamatia, ex-Vice President, TEST. Okay, so volunteers from request line, Chini moderator, respected sir, Mr. Manoj Jamatiano, Rishariwi, Borombiwi, Yasanabagi. Senior Mr. Santiradiam, President of BSCO, Advocate Anthony Deberma, ex-convener, Joint Action Committee, Mrs. Rasrukni Chakma, HUD Corporate Department, Bill Bikram, Memorial College, Dr. Vijay Deberma, President, TDWS, Engineer Gautam Vice President Test, Advocate Mintu Deberma, Member of TILA, Dr. Kahamluk Jamatia, Advisor ETF, Dr. Sudamai, Mr. Olympic, and Dr. Thomas Molson. So, ang pula daw, high volunteer sumo ko Chigi moderator sir, Manoj Jamatiano, Rishariwi, Borong Defender Bagay. Kaya ako nilawag ito to dignitary strong ang ko as we are running out of time, so we will try to finish the session as much as early. Okay. So, ako ni ulo to ngay senior of higher majak to payo kurang sini and sini barisalna ge chumbo ni jab mung robo hai o session ni ulo khana nai ge to no oro kurang ge tongi tambai.
Good morning to all. Sini seminar session on the theme of the seminar, honoring indigenous midwives, safeguarding life and well-being, and protection of the right and cultural identity of the indigenous people of Tripura. Although once we generalize the second part no nakan, okay? So if we can limit with the international theme of honoring indigenous midwives, safeguarding life and well-being. I believe safeguarding life and well-being is also associated with the midwifery. Sini already time 1:14, 15 Mungka. So I want to know how long we can continue. We have, I think, 10 speakers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How long can I continue? 1 hour? 1 hour means we are getting around, how much? 7 minutes? 7 minutes or so. So I request all the expert speakers, the panelists, to restrict themselves with 7 minutes and not to go too much here and there and contain yourself with the theme. I think this is not a technical session or expert on the midwifery. Midwifery of Tam Klai, Dosapara Pro Tam Klai, Abor of Yabudoy. Once ago, it's all about honoring, how to honor them. Or is it to honor, or is it existing in Tripura? Or how can we revive, or what is to be done, or what are the suggestions that we can do in order to revive these midwifery practices in Tripura and honor them.
Yesterday I was just going through one of the article, and I saw that in some of the countries they have revived this midwifery in with the what do you call the latest with the integration of the latest technology, and give them some sort of trainings or the latest technology integrate like I get expertise from Morocco. Our no training with certificate and they practice. Doctor, we have few doctors like doctors with midwifery practice because it's about safeguarding life and well-being. Means safeguarding of the child, the mother during the pre-delivery and post-delivery periods. So those things I think we can. How can we do it? Bahaya sang klaiman nai, tamu klaina na. Boboti roket tangkan janai. I mean some systems, suggestions and methods. Those I think would be helpful for discussion during the seminar. So let us straight away start with our session, and the time is limited to 7 minutes. If I request if someone could keep the timing, and I hope all of them will keep within the theme themselves, and if at all someone wants to go to the second part of the discussion, you can, but please restrict yourself within 7 minutes. Okay? All right? It's fine. So it is 118. So 120 we start. So we have, how shall I call the name? This night. So Jivan, please give me the list again serially so that I can. With whom should I go? You have already introduced them, or someone wants to introduce. We have 1 minute left to be 120. So introduce any level of now, Devasa. Okay. Should we also go for questionnaires? No, or all together? Not it. Okay. If someone comes in little clarification, you can come in between or last. Okay. So straight away, let us start with our seminar on the, again I repeat, the theme of the seminar is the indigenous people of Tripura. So I first, according to the list, therefore I welcome Dr. Bijoy Devarma, President TDWS, to share with us his expertise. Please, sir.
Hamayutano, Prunka, Jora Kawarija, Angasu Pangla, details of Pangla, Orodara, Asukamanajo, Dr. Hamayapuro. I said thanks all the speakers for this and all the audience, ladies and gentlemen, students, learned persons, activists, extend my thanks and gratitude to all of you on the person of the World Indigenous Peoples Day. Getting the subject of Saipe can give an to pass part of the Sabbath. It was a relevance there. The Tapri more I think particularly in state all over India. Child care, safe delivery, or when advancing from Tabo mini hospital set up Hajaka hospital, interior sub center, PHC, CSC, primary healthcare, secondary healthcare, tertiary healthcare, all the Jotu Kambayo. Educate number of Tabo gynecologists, nurse Tongo, the midwife Tabo Tongo, all the Tongo, Tabokai, Mondi, more than 90% of hospital delivery from Tango to Tina Tumano, any type of world, African country rogo, the third world country rogo, should be safe, Suprapika, Purina, Cyber opportunity Quina, on Bagano concept that meet what is that comes in the team is the money. The international team. Also, Tunka is our localized local team which is in context of the context of the Tripura and its indigenous people. And one of the ones who to second the local team to and our important message also the midwife all Zorawan again Jordan more than 50 years ago. There are midwife very important. Korsa da the partner crew. Hey, bin saka say bo bantu da tak no kaham no koi da no tamu no. Hey, and also the midwife kind of poni saka. Two life depends on their hand. One is the life of the mother, well-being, and the child, and their well-being. And the traditional the knowledge of common data by Tulbara Saitanga, Solbo Saitanga, overall. This is an age-old tradition to basically the safe delivery. And this is a very amazing effect. Someone is warm talk now. Warm talk there. Ramani also great for people from the time of it. Warm talk no. Rugoi boiled layoi. Then you first boil that bamboo made the blade. Let us say what is the speak in English vocabulary. I don't know. But we got to warm talk. There is sharp end made up of bamboo. They boil it on boiled layo. Boiled on Tetanus no, but Tankayo, or boiled like a tetanus become. And all the concept, all the opportunity of no stress layer, Rakaja, Butamona, all concept of improvising to go. What's amazing this concept? So amazing. I will be embraced to Cox, I can get up on the also even Yakamunka, home delivery, and Kakle, and get over whom the not enter to Canadian. This is not relevant. Now we should encourage this to be the hospital delivery, institution delivery. She got a company, Tahinbono, MPW, Congo, Stambo, on what the hospital delivery. Obviously, most is dependent on the city minority, preserving our culture, tradition, identity, our is very relevant. And then also that's how opportunity Gen Z of no, Gen Z. Hey, brown is a message in Namatobo. There people have to watch in cinema, Chini, Tokumu, Mukumu, Joto, Setarutomo, Joto, Budavitum, White was Kajatomo, a very one as well. Honestly, to sign Chini, Hukumu, Mukumu, Chini Kok, Chini tradition, Chini culture, Chini custom, Chini dress, all of Hanan Chini to about Thai. It is a sacred duty to preserve our identity, our cultural identity, linguistic identity, everything. Once before 1949, before the merger of Tripura with Union of India, what was our identity? We are not called tribal, we are not called Donjati, we are not called Pujati, Swangdu, so many names. असोते जुन जत जरा हिस्ट्री बोइलाइदि राजपाला बोइलाइदि इंग्रेज रक सायर रक जेनि बरक जे बिजाब सिमनो नाइ देवा जगा ताम सुइजा तंग जगा ब्रक जुंगा खाइ त्रिपुरा बा त्रिपुरी बा त्रिपुरा हिनो राजपाला का त्रिपुर बा त्रिपुर रक थाव न जुंगा ट्राइबल सायबले हेंगाय 1949 उलो ताम जिन बुं कोमा बियान पुरा साइकिका Punda saya juga, agak tribal generate kayak lantaran. Ini adalah salah people tribal tunggu dulu, akhirnya apa? Salah people tribal tunggu. Ini Naga buat tribal, Mizo buat tribal, ini civil tribal, ini North East tuh. Naga itu 25 tribal tunggu, orang itu 125 itu brok no, brok nih bumung tunggu brok nih, tribe nih bumung tunggu. Itu generate kan brok saja deh, kasih ini sawo, Naga ini sawo. Ini garo hinsa ho mun tamne sa thabul if any scheduled tribe you are SC ST OBC ba nung tam mane of just constitutional term man tam or tam tam ahul kaisa jini ja ukluk ukamai borodo socio economically rang bai hukum bai ukluk usujak borodo no sepina bagoi constitutional of tam to और क्या कंपनी ने UR बानी ने जनरल कैटेगरी SC ST OBC और तो ये तब के लिए ना ये कुछ भी कर ये क्या हम तो 1 minute more इनका एक और कैसे और कैटेगरी का नुकी दी इनका ये दोनों तब कैसे कम्युनिटी दो ये हम कम्युनिटी तब साइड तब चीज़ बेंगुली कम्युनिटी तो करते हैं मनुष्य का UR SC SC लोग OBC कोई दवा इनका नो mereka नो प्रोनो के नो ट्राइब के बाद नो ये तो जो constitutional thesis na hore juno tribe hisawo upujati hisawo hega no kada no mai o je constitutional term you are in sanita inga to buno ni dokne bung kan ni oro no deri felasi obono ke kan tin sukai no i juno kan obte hai tini sini bandaro everything tipani ini tima tuisa he no saidaman saida bumu haurong ka ini kuai tima dia kemana agi bung kai ni kosonti jadi ini tam tamane gumoti tima apa kormoti subraikum apa ini gunung ungka jadi cakrakma apa sob murongka everything our history name everything why was tam sungkaisa opportunity kayo hamdani bumuro atau hatin bumuro joto segala dekat sungkaisa opportunity hule mana kena constitution jumno or mandate jumno all right jumno all right no segoi nganani jora sopaikha hekai night the one indigenous peoples dewo jini ismai opon pong jini jini sega jini kawanza ya sini maliro jini hidro hong hai no hai desa jumno cuti di dalam pun, dan cuti itu cuma mana? Dapat coba kali coba makan ni, abnu ambil jodoh perungkat.
Baik, Dr. Vijay Devarma, President GWS na, ini nangkuk mani kok sebab saya khamani bagai. Tapi jasa angwan subo seminar would be more meaningful if we not only deliver verbally but submit some maybe hard copy or soft copy if possible to the organizer so that they can do it, compile it later on and do the grateful for whatever it may be. So if anybody has, you can do it after the program, maybe no issue. Okay, next I call upon Mr. Santi SCO to deliver his thoughts.
Welcome you all to this short. It would have been better to start with the background of the observance of indigenous people International Day, but that will take longer time. I will just enter into the points directly. I mentioned in my earlier speech, the indigenous people suffer in the rights about the land, about their identity, and about their language. These three areas, in these three areas, they're heavily affected. And we, the indigenous people of Tripura, also not an exception. So, I am just mentioning some points, the problem areas that we are facing. We have the problem of land rights. We have the problem of land rights. Second, we have the issues of language. We have the issues of cultural identity. We have issues of erasure of our cultural heritage. We have issues of marginalization. We are getting, in terms of population strength, where marginalization, in terms of population strength, our population strength is, in the overall population strength, issues are marginalized, education, we are marginalized, decision making position. In all these things, we are, so to say, the marginalized and disadvantaged, vulnerable people. Regarding the land rights, yes, there is an act, the TLR and LR Act, which gives certain rights in different measures, but this act is not adequate. The provision of this act, TLR and LR Act, is not adequate for the rights of the indigenous people of Tripura. Because most of us live in a forest area, and our rights on the forest land and forest property is very, very limited. Regarding language issue, script issue of Cockbrook is still unresolved. We are fighting for the script, Roman script, but it is, we don't see it will be very easy to get. And we have other demands like the recognition of the mother tongue of the Kauru as a second language. So these are the problems. Even I hear that Tripuris are also demanding that Tripuri language or something like that. So we have issues of language also. We should overlook or brush aside as insignificant or unimportant. We should give due importance to this also. In Tripura, the indigenous people, we have now 20 tribes. And we have is a plural identity. Our culture is a plurality, not a solid one. We must seek integration of the different cultures in terms of based on plurality and dignity and mutual respect. And one very alarming trend we face is the erasure of our cultural heritage. The names are being changed. I need not mention what names are being changed in Tripura. In the capital city, here at Agartala, many names bearing our culture, our past, our history, our nation is being erased. It is disappearing. Because this disappearance of these names ultimately lead to the disappearance of our identity and of our culture. So, in this scenario or in this situation, I have a few suggestions to make today. This may be something a little bit advanced in relation to the students. Yet, now that my theme being the protection and preservation of our rights on land, on language, on culture, I have some suggestions. All the indigenous people belonging to communities, we should stand united, not isolated. A broad-based forum or platform may be formed, comprising the representatives of all the prominent civil societies of all the communities to discuss issues and launch movement wherever and whenever necessary. We may think of forming an apex body, but we need stronger and more solidified, cemented apex body of all the indigenous people of Tripura. So that any point, any demand we want to make for the common interest of all the indigenous people, we have to raise in united one. I suggest a watch group of the legal fraternity, the lawyers, because law is something very dangerous, people.
So it's 7
It
minutes.
can make or unmake.
7 minutes. Okay.
It can make and unmake our rights. So we may have this watch group so that whatever legislation is scheduled in the state, that should be analyzed.
Remind that not to go, that is the international thing. I therefore again, midwifery is about safeguarding the life, the child, newborn child, pre-delivery, how many months I do not know, post-delivery, and care for the child and the mother. Or is it really necessary to revive the ancient practices of midwifery in our society? And how can we revive it or preserve it or honor those practices? Please kindly dwell on this. And maybe just last minute, if you want to share, you go. But second part, please try to avoid. Thank you. So I call upon now again Advocate Anthony Deborma, ex-convener, JACCS, please, among the guys. I suppose you will not take more than 7 minutes.
Boleh hambai. Baru besar kau berumai atau yati selah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. English the sound kau berumai sound. Angkuila, let us not count this time. Angkuila kisah relay. Takut gimana? Lupa. Tak kau dulu. Lupa. Ada. Kan bisa kamu. Dan tamu borong tam khenok then first question borong tam khenok come on Genji kok sadi apa sana naik mah kakak kubui ti prajak nui nijin kadung lo kalit phulna kakak pure khai kadung Hasil dia thaga buku sampai ke, saka kaptu di cumoi, tengah jaga wo risar bol. abon khadale lachimi sisa please and tamu nor sikla rok sikli rok abon important riak ga never that you will able to preserve your culture. Don't ever think that you are wearing a traditional dress. Abo kaisa mutunar de. Abo pagina ambor no maringka yes. Sang thana bisiwa sang Assam dipu thana sang celebrate khayo entire Northeast. Chini je sumna briro one of the best and world class. Sang abo international box sang api sarono sarkulek khayo. Pusar kak khai abo international use khaida tongo no khaida ma. This is the beauty. Oma hake risa kang khate no mana cheng bisiringu sarnu jang antia. This is the original chini dress. Oma he nai thobor tong tai. Ngai cheng kok khai chawo but action no sung kri. Therefore je dofa action no kri kok simi sanai a dofa tolawon tama bojkun din sakang nai. Indigenous boror mana tamoma jeng baksa huno indigenous chin identity ya aw saimano chin identity ya but worldwide o bukung bara hai romo tamo hne chini na borok kaisa pon common name bor ke tribal no borok indigenous people. What is the meaning of indigenous people? Indigenous people of Ngai borok civilized society na tui tangnai boni agini siri sitini tomung samung lai pumana tui tangnai bona kalmung bunisa juta boni tomung juta boni samung juta tahu bagi indigenous borok we are so much close and attached with the natures. We live with the mountains, we live with the rivers, we live with the forest, we live with the natures. And there are so many indigenous medicine plants that actually heal the wound and the sickness of every human being. Therefore, indigenous Bororok, we are not just simply garden of looking after this nature, but indigenous Bororok is not only the garden, but indigenous people are the leader that can bring the world into a safe and show the future of the world. Our climate change, it is very, very important that indigenous people are leading the country, leading the nation. Okay, thank you. Angka kamu kan main timu kain. Centini tahu nabagai honoring indigenous people kamu midwife. Apa kamu hunba? MIDWIVS. Apa no huno kamu? Kumaz. Tentang saya tangka. Mak kainai. Orang ahai indigenous borok beri borok hai tonturu borok susu kumazuk sibicing ini bumulia. They are the healer. They are the pillar. Community ni, tofa ni, society ni borok sasol pala. Je borok bottle rate nobo borok kom kayu. Kamu sehunmanu tinoto dara ko tomu doktor ko bama tomu. Je it is the science that evolves and protect the lives of the people. No, wrong. Agi je sirisi tuo, sinu borok azai pro come to you. Jog tentang bisnes pilih tabu to you. Sijar tu konsep pilih lagi. Sijar kaya, selapres ke tongka. Sijar kaya kan koron bisi besar asal lima gelar. Thakong kan risk kelai thangu. So ini indigenous borok ni kami pakai. So systematically bahagi indigenous orang oppress kaya, suppress kaya, discrimination kaya, tongka bahagi ঠিক time saya lima. Tabu science tamu. Sona gula pe khaina hai khaina pe khaina August last month kon bai manu otosop July ni last kon bho bai bakha apka saka operation to ma khaijena sida to ma khaijena ma khaike so aba hai khai pura jesi system indigenous system culture no tamane pura destroy khai abo no United Nations sabo bo kaise jeni bawo simi abo simi United Nation is a formation by the entire country of the world.
United Nations sabab Islam jak jot country prithibini je country tongmani they are the member of the United Nations. Buঝka bor যখন Human Council, Security Council aba hake upuru hakai e apurno aba hake debate nui sabo aba hake topic no agree khaya bor abun voting system can India is also part of person of the signatory of the declaration of Buঝka ngai abun bagino tini tam sa borok ahe borok no respect maranai borok ahe burirong no promote ma khaine borok ahe borok no preserve khai protect khai borok sustainability of livelihood borok no invest khai ma tonai akok sau karon borok agi ni dino doctor kuri hospital kuri borok bhaike borok ni lagono bachi bata safeguarding life borok tabu phano kamini sakdere sakuplung thakai bale ma tu gari habi ma gari tong phano কিন্তু আজ জরানো বলো বালিতে পূর্ণ বললাম সইখান আপনি কবম তংসিন কিন্তু আজ এত মাজুর তং ফুরু বড় বাহিকে খায় বড় ঠিক থুয়াসাই খাইনো আজ জরা তং তাও তাংসা তাম সুই বুফাং বাই ইলুম বাগ দান কুমো বুকুর খুবই যে রিতাং মানে আম কখাই এ লাম্বাক নিন কোন খাইয়ে আগু বাই তরি খাইয়ে আকে খাই Sotonrui rismia karon agin dine turun paisa amia all India radio live telecast hebruwa ango komo masaka tai media ra phai interview hebruwa ango komo masaka nga ba ke sak thonu akui khai nga bin busak ka thanagi jeng nature ba kurungja mana wa ba kurungja wa ba bin ong ko mo thena rawo nga omo thai je waste no ba ke khibna ni abu bo motai ri khibi abu ya golo omo thai tamu phulana abo bithibu siu abo ne yaklo bumano bin kasa hamane bin unko jote hamane bonatam saron na bin aguti final dur final ni botam saron na sarai bahe kolom na na joto no systematic khaiye khayo abon bagino otaklen team sudo abon je bona explain suri boya state has the obligation to protect state has the obligation to promote state has the obligations to preserve and continue. Abos bono, bono protect hai bono preserve hai bono hake train marana. Abon bagino, they are not only kumazir, but they are the healer, they are the pillar protect hai bono. Kaisa lagmano, bahake batil tu kuma forest land no se demarcation khai borok nina hybrid plantation khai na shuru khai kya, rubber shuru khai kya, tea shuru khai kya. Enggak tahu kai palm oil tree se khai jao ka ngani borok tongsi abun bagino it is not only related safeguarding and well-being mane kamo ba safeguarding life and well-being abo phai sinai nini acha puru nini sori kaham sak kaham ka tonman yak lo ni bisino nini life safeguard khai bisino nini well-being bahake tonai nini land right ni jagotom nini forest right ni jagotom nini kalsa no preserve khai ni tonman kha nini tini jeng khutru kalsa khutru tilia jeng puila Indonesia ja hake pai pro pure jeng ara jeng beri final masa kono blouse umui blouse sakawo risa kui phaya bangna sikli ro to saini na bro no jetu sikli ngo apa pa final no society sijago no bisa hormonu khakeno yes this girl has grown to adult bujka atsanan kha no sikli kha khani abo musukti mangna ni kamu ni musukti mangna abo no destroy khaini ni destroy khaini kamu destroy khaini no kamu nang ngong nai last I'm taking 1 minute tabu anor tak chin samu an tabu ifat ni kaisa study committee member আমি elected এসে স্পেসিফিক ইলেকশন এসে স্পেসিফিক নি তিনজন রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ তম কাউন্সিল বডিও আ জায়গাটা ফুড সিকিউরিটি চিনো ফুড মোস্ট অফ লাকি 98% অফ নিউট্রিশন দম যদি কেব নিউট্রিশন তি যে আবরণ খাইনে হেকাকাই নরক আবরণ খাইমান মোস্ট অফ লাকি আবাই মোস্ট অফ লাকি সাকম বহগিও হাবরণ বহগ দেরে Tetapi scientific sini ru, agi COVID furano interview nahor international, आं साखाथिनि इन्डिजन बर' प्रबिन मानजायगा तामनो बाली मानजायगा इम्युनिटी सिस्टम आसके काहापे तनो मोस्ट प्लाटी साउ चिनि इम्युनिटी सिस्टम करा उस्ट्रके तो এই অবস্থা सो दिस आर द माने बेसिक माने न तो सराय को काहाको बुझगला तो नै अब बगैनो जस्ट अ काइन्ड अफ डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन टाइप माने न ब्रेन स्टोमिंग को खाइनु सो नेक्स्ट टाइम इन एनी और माने प्रोग्राम प्योर ट्रेडिशनल निजिने कामु आले खानि न हाय थांप्रो हुँदाकै उसका कान थांमानो हात को तम सुमो सात मडर्नाइजेसन वेस्टर्न में काने थांमानो आफोका लासिया निजे ट्रेडिशनल काने थांनो पर न लासियो जे निजे ट्रेडिशनल कानाय लासिनाय आ बरब कि प्रसप समनि माया
Please wind up.
बेलागे हामबाय थैंक यू
Hambai. Thank you, Advocate Anthony, for his valuable speech. He has at last touched some of the points in cesarean cases and all. So this is good. And also the health care and life of the child and the mother. So next, जों ताबक खानालायनाय जों बोसखाङो बरन गोनां डक्टर काहामलुक जहादिया UTF बेनि खुफांबाय खानालायनाय अ सेमिनार टपिक्स नबेयो
हेलो फयकानो जदनो खुलुमबाय था और सबा हॉस्पिटल आसाय बा सबा न आसाय पिला सबा और हॉस्पिटल आसाय जानि आक्ति सादे जति सादे बांगो हायफानो नायना आंके किसानो मावो सिनिस्टे जो तंनायला आं साइथिं सिको बरबबो आं खाखलायो नों जदि अरो जे टाइटल बाद्रय दनो आंके अरो सबा आसोगि तम संगि नामाने जेबो मुंबाय पहिलानि सिनि सेंलाके एन्टनी बेखा बन परे yang सिमिले सेंनाय जो तरबो मुं खुलिया हंके जों जतो हॉस्पिटलाव आसायफानो चिनि आमा बाबा नि जेनेरेशन सी नौ आसायनाय मानसि गामियाव आसायनाय मानसि हंके उ गामियाव चिनि बाबा सरक आं बखाय बरनो बरम याफाथाय हंके आफोरनि को माजो रनि बाङै वाइसा याफा फरलायनाय थादि जतो नुमिलुय हंके ते कायसा जेगा सामानि अमनि माने अमो याजा संता वाइसा फिरगै जतो नौ आसायरनायनि ट्राइ खाने हम थाया दो दिस एंटायरलि रंग कन्सेप्ट evolution जो तो नहीं नंग दो जों नाय के नाय देता whether in dress or whether it is health care or everything no with time evolution nung ना इनको नेता से finally है तो वो sneaker उनके almost kind फैल दो वो sneaker वो branded sneaker kind फैल हाई बंदे संदूरी पहले street जों mobile use करते आगे mobile देता हूँ so is mobile not a part of our culture नों एडॉप्ट मा थाने मॉडर्निटी न निन जदि रिजिटमी तोना के जे तोमानि बसा से कमाई मा थाङो एनी सिस्टम दैट कैन नॉट एडॉप्ट विथ टाइम विल बिकम एक्सट्रीम इनके संजे बैलेंस मेंटेन थायानि बनो बमा वासनाय ताबनि दिनो हॉस्पिटल डिलीवरी फाइमानि परे सिनि सराय थिमानि कम नों खायसि आई गेस नि पारावो सराय फजानाय सि कायसा सिमा नों सनाजा बनिबो मुंके आपसा कलै मानि कलाय पारावो सराय आसायनानि बिसिङो थैमानि बाङै फजाकते ओ जागानिबो मोनसे आबसा कलिन पाइसो जों सरायफोराव के साइसनका आयनबे थांनानै सिगिरिगराव सिगिरि जाथो हाइफो हंके जों सकालमान सिगिरिले बुरासा टरासा तंगायमनि आरो नि कागै जे साइन्टिफिक अमो सफैमानि अमो बकायसा इवोल्यूशननि पार्ट नहायसि जों ताखनो सकालमान हाके तंमानि सावदे सकालमान तंनाय दे गोरै हायके नों मॉडर्न साइंटिफिक डेवलपमेंट नो एक्सेप्ट खाय नों दिनि कल्चर बाहायके इंटीग्रेट खाय आगुनाय बनसि मावा सखनाय हंके सगमा लायो जों बुले जागानिबो मोनसगमा लायो अमन सगमा लायो हलायो जों सिनि बंसा सगमाय पाइले आसो फल पटमा बरक बांमावसि निजेनि को बायदो मोनफारजाक लेखा लायना द्रंगसों याकसै थाइबिसो दसे लेखाय पाइबे मानाय हंके मसिनि लासि सिंसा यादे हंके चिनि Bahaya asal sak ni kau borok baik bemeng dari angin tang hingke. Midwife pun asal itu. Seng asal mana ni kami wo sini kami wo asal sini borok nu baru. Hingke bahaya sekolah tang perong kalau bemeng le alka kau baik angin baik dah. Karon joto nu jenis saya kusuku, jenis saya kerengku, jenis saya keratuk no musuh. Hingke seneng kaisa celebrity bemeng kaisa bitan. Hingke number 1. Inspiration je nahu, sungguh inspired si tharan nangle. Hingke kita je inspired jane borok le bini bosong ni mansi. Hingke haike bu sok kayo number 1 reason. Second reason kaisa ni bemeng koi na musuh ya. Ini kahanuk jadi successful nglang ke kahanuk ibu mengkebang ma party bainai. Ini kahanuk jadi kuriama hayama kaisa ma hingke koi kahanuk yang fari ada si. Second reason hingke jepro school tungkor tingan tilangur. School je bemeng si nai. Boni ni bemeng si taruh mangraya. Kaisa example onai like true example tak anima maklai ke play. Bo ni bemeng phaka ke play jomatia. Bo jepro school tang kabor tingan ni. Aro je master bemeng si nai ke play si taruh malia. Ko akar karoi ka play yang pai sinai. Ko ukar kurui ku play yang pai sinai. Ni ake rosi ka dili ka kepe ki play yang pai sinai. Je ke pasi ke play si senamalia karan je kau borok ni pronunciation omo joko language to bomaya. Hingke berteman kaisa ari itu jangan kumam iba berak tadi. Ni aku buat jaga mana pun ni songwi kaisa pun roi roda. Maximum sini sekarang ni generation ni je kau masih bumung kelai mani omo itu sekolah tangga aro je bumung sunai bob harmonisi. Hingke tabok joraja apa? Omo nampak itu joko namanya kuizak bekang ne. Ini pada sebab maidul cai pai, koi maidul cai pai. Okay, almost sini culture no mana yang mana dekulai. Modern times so modern breakfast itu kan kai pai lelah with time adaptation. Hai kena modern by traditional mix lagi. Kaisa
things that are already prepared. So now all of this is double this number. Yeah. However, respected chairperson, distinguished guests, respected members of Joint Action Committee, eminent speakers, community leaders, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this day to celebrate World's Indigenous Day. I will not talk about midwife also because already we talked. We can call you Imam Kolo. Look, Tabuk upon dash Imam. Ini tak sudah bani. Waktu itu kita register we just yes, request ni kokor baik kamu nai. If you don't have, jadi puno meaning kali puno, kaisa bumau kali ni. Let's do that. Ambil kali nai. If we do that, why we should only wait for our next generation to give their name as what has been told about? To tabung sibino, je borok di tabuk cini o indigenous bumau kerja. Tu tabung sibino indigenous bumau kaisa, cini registered bumau hali tu edit terjadi mana? Yes or no? DASARATH proposal, we can practice. Let's do it. Also, action part bagaimana? This is a small thing. Orang bagi rangkul jangan ya. We can start kan? Tapi kita kokong kah? Ang belai no berok no ang hambai malu. Cultural identity kaimung no borok thing is like that. Maintain thing. Then why we guys should be behind? Sabto waisa, anto ekedi. Amte aja ini indigenous rino kani tu lobis tu ni ba? Any problem? Attendance problem ni? Punya nak boleh? Tahu lagi tu, mama rusa. Tahu khusus popular angka. Jadi kuno VIP rau guest rau Bollywood ni korang rau pakai si, omo baisi, borang malu. So, sini jika dress no, selara no, je maksud we should promote and we should propose to each and every one of us. Amo sini ya, ang official dara kogro maya, borok lo buang tunggu. Please learn this. Ang sekolah saya, hey pungkaham, ida kita, pungkaham mana? Punggolo kaham lo om hai kiri jepul chung, saya tok nai, sini kog borok mana? Joto sini kog, ono borok mana? Abo sini bagi sini saya abo digi ki pengen. Hey kita. Tahu naik di sini, je Brirongni je iko dress rignai abo bisa tabu Delhi rago international iko taminai fashion show rago tabu koli ko mago. How did it come? Ek somole amon jara thangkha jasa pun sadi se makan na yampe haisi rignai kanga kelas lagi wakru. But that awareness has come to the Bishino. I want to bisa agokha. Koma sana itongo, but my time is only 7 minutes, so I have to wind up. Chini kok, do. Chini agulio koma tunggu jara koporok maya, but chini indigenous kok rodo maya do. Let us not mock them. Let us love them and teach them. Hai tunggu manu. They will definitely learn. Okay. Engkai regarding sini jekuno sini ko society o jara yang sini joli buti the practice trainer o borno tung tisarana nago. Is there anybody who is practicing this kind of treatment, herbal treatment? Amter tongka ke borno, please, we should give them ini dino borno tuna namo takau. Like ini by. She's a nugui aku hasil celah bodoh usah angkat baru nugui anggu impression makha angkat tamu usah sini jiren ko Hindi usah bu English usah bani bu pen tuman aku nari sumber angkat sa English dengan tumani tamu nasuk pak kamu kai English dengan tumani ba anggu udah kami baca kami kemani sini engineers kami tumani apa sih yang tahu practice kalian so that one day I can also sing like that. That should be my motto. Okay? Engkai Jadi kasih kau sini orang tua pun lima bah. Orang tua ni kalau saya boleh nak kena herbal lady hindago. Her name is Yanung Jamo Lego Pasigatu. Very traditional jepot practice kami ini bukan pasal. Tahu lagi. Bukan cancer treatment bukan ni orang tunggu. So, doktor nak apa sini muya sana ni je agin sini je. Kita curi kemana ni? Apa nak buat preserve kemana ka? Kita tahu amos kita tahu belai famous. YouTube busuk kamu pada dulu. So practice, and help to practice, or anybody who is doing that, baru nak promote kali ni. And I urge and request the committee. Just there are business the baito jonto tumani engineers baito jonto jara kulung tongle no. Ha bina orang tu hai. Senda tongai kaham tongo, siung mangai kaham tongo, kham tongai kaham tongo. Baru bu felicitation program tu mana. We should preserve that. Is it not? Tahu sini business orang sangat angle kita taman itu. I sing song, I play guitar. Have I ever played this senda? Have I ever played? Aku tahu mana anggun tu mana angke. Really, this is something we should learn. Ang justru pun guitar mang tunggu, justru pun tobla mang tunggu. Sini, mereka sini ni jeta tangmung. Abu betul sundan anda itu. So, thank you all. This is all I would like to say. And last but not the least, only 4 points. Our message should be clear. We want development, but development with dignity. We want modern healthcare, but with respect for valuable traditional knowledge. We want education, but not at the cost of our language and culture. We want progress, but we also want to preserve our identity. Hambai Jotono. Thank you.
Hambai, Engineer Gautam Priya. Selain kampung saya tangga, tabuk ang Ringo, Dr. Thomas Molson, Associate or Assistant Professor with 5. Midwifery, I believe today is a profession. So that professional skill. Again, I request all the panel speakers to reflect on this, that can it be treated as a profession, and can there be any recruitment or creation of posts like a teacher or midwifery, can it be done in DTA agency at least? Please reflect on that.
Hello. Thank you so much, sir. Jubain and Rika, good afternoon to everybody present here. I'm Thomas. I belong to two different community. My father is from the Molsom community, and my mother is from Rangpur community. So I'm wearing today my mother's risa. And I thank the members of the Joint Action Committee of Civil Society for giving me this opportunity to speak and maybe to learn more. I was listening and I was more fascinated to learn more, from our seniors. So I'm not an expert here. A few things I want to share with my young brothers and sisters. Today, as we celebrate our World Indigenous Day, this we will celebrate next year again, right? And what exactly we do think, that is also one thing we should sort of a progress report if we can give every year, that will be very good. So please bear with me. I come from a very hardcore academic background, so I mostly tend to use some jargon words or some philosophical foundations and different dots I try to connect. So try to help me understand, and now let's try to connect the dots. So I have three things to talk about. First thing I want to know, a very simple question, that is who exactly we are. People, if somebody asks you who you are, you may say, oh, I'm an indigenous people, or I'm an indigenous person, or I belong to this certain community. But, we know answers, right? But exactly what does it mean? We may talk about, oh, because I live in the first place here, or maybe because I'm a tribal, or maybe because I live in some forest areas, or I have a lot of connection with nature. Those are all true. But we need to understand certain things. First, from the state point of view, how state exactly administer you, how state, the government exactly categorizes you, decides you, or puts you in a different baskets. We tribals are put in a different baskets. You see, among the Tripuri community, there are different communities are there. Among Halam, there are different communities are there. So that basket we have to understand, and we have to try to come out. That is called administrative legality. This is a term of Asian countries, and the government adopts, because we are so many differences in terms of number, in terms of, put us into our own baskets, but rather started putting us. So this is very important for every young, to understand. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is about the knowledge, which I always call it an epistemic community. Are you a knowledge community? Everything it covers, your midwives, your planetary, your medicinal plant, everything is covered up. What does it mean to be a epistemic community? See, the knowledge that you gather today, it may be from a textbook. Largely, the knowledge that you get is from reels now. Lastly, we get knowledge from our mobile phone right now. Earlier, most of our songs, most of our knowledge we get from stories, songs, rituals, observations. I grew up listening to different folk tales, different folk songs actually. So now this knowledge is so important, is so powerful that if you talk to any farmers or like a person who's cultivating a hope, he or she will understand the coming season by just observing the changes in birds, insects, wind, cloud. But me, you, if you want to understand, we Google it. Is it a time even to see the date we go through it, right? Now, little problem becomes here is that whenever I bring about this kind of story, whenever I bring about the importance of midwives, the importance of traditional belief, we are often mocked. The indigenous people, we are often ridiculed. Why are you bringing your stories? Because our stories are always been categorized as a old. We are all practitioners, or we are all, thing like that. And one more thing, sir, I really thank you for asking that question. Can midwife be a profession? I was coming to that, I was preparing. Can midwife be a profession? See, we are free of our choices. And We are a contemporary people, we use smartphones, we go to universities, we become teacher, lawyer, doctor, scientist, researchers, politician, artists. We contribute the same like other communities are contributing to this world. Now, we also engage with technology. Now, coming with this profession, I'm not expert of midwives, okay? But I want to tell you, and with that I will leave with all of you, who exactly are midwives. Midwife can become everyone. Actually, it is not a profession. I mean, it is not. And you know where this midwife is relevant today? In the rural areas where the hospitals are not available. In the hill areas where you don't get any GB. I have to cross 100 kilometers away. And many times people die. So now here, what I want to bring about is the midwife. So first we have to understand the structural problem that we all are in. Our issues are all interconnected. So here the midwifery is, when you talk about profession, I may not go for profession because it doesn't provide me livelihood. Why should I go, right? But during, so for example, suppose if my wife is like pregnant and I need some advice, I have nobody, but I will go to some, elderly lady. So it becomes a midwife actually. So that knowledge, that understanding we need to have. Not like I can't force somebody from my family or my friend or my to be midwife. No, that's our choice. And especially in the young here, we are free to have our own choices. So what solution I can think of right now is that, yes, midwives are very important because most of our tribal people or indigenous people or many of we are living very much in hill areas because proper infrastructure doesn't come, proper health structure doesn't come. So what we can do, we have civil societies are coming up. What we need to do is that we have to also come up with some sort of a model. Enough of talking, let's create some model. Why not, if we want to create or give them a profession, why not come up with models? And give them, anybody, if a young girl wants to become a midwife, yeah, let's encourage that. So to do that, what we are doing right now, I'll take maybe a few seconds, 10 seconds to talk about. Me and a couple of my friends with Shudamoy and others also are there here. My friends are backside, they're sitting. We have founded a small organization called Tiger Collective, not T-I-G-E-R, it's T-Y-G-E-R. So where we try to identify this kind of the practitioners. And we are documenting, and we are not just documenting, we are trying to come up with the solutions. So let's try to come up with solutions so that even this midwife can become a profession. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So midwife can be a profession. Therefore, we can request the TLC government to recruit 1 or 2 midwives for every villages. It's not it. Right. So Dr. Thomas was asking himself that who am I? I think Dr. Thomas appears to be from the West. If you don't see his face, only by name. That's what Local said. Okay. So this is part of the job. Next, I call upon Advocate Pintu Debarma to deliver his valuable speech, followed by Mrs. Radha Lakshmi Lakma.
Bangsa asujat joto panel speakers, terus kalau tongrai je opera cakra, tei abuni ukloba asujat angkat ayo students of mana, joto sikla salai dulu, nor joto nol khat ham ya hari ang kisi sa ko salai karon lectures onek khana khado, lecture bisi balogoi thangkai selewoi thango, ang wangsugoi tongmani. Kesar-kesar jadi kaisa kaini desa mengrol ke sini tini di pandate botong pokam ni. Haifano borok ni je organisasi saya media boma he wangsuk marokom borok kaham ni logi ni wangsuk na. Haidini sen topik ko thang lagi. Ang je taklai yo je buzi mani taklai ni je motto honoring indigenous midwives. Kumazud rogo borom ya harmani. O je topic taklai je reason mani
indigenous by UN by the Germany. Abono ang je buji mani khlai. Ang wan suya je kumas bai nang sarai asai di nei tini ni or data aba relevant ya. Nei ang wan sugo. UN lo sana nai mani khai je kumas do gagi asai di thangnai eba jaga jago je jaga institutionalized delivery koriko o jaga rago kumas no samung khai tongnai borok mosen borom ritai klayo eba borom rina nango nei taklai ni je moto tumani ni se ang khakao hasino sini oka sini sar monoj bo sawi thaka kumas no mosen sakri ro ba kuno bata ro rioi de man all decisions sawa nanai norok jodi health tongkhai first session o sini da koto da sodol sana naikya you must be the change matters you must be the decision matters sabo semoga salai ma bai discussion klai ma bai bason de ma ba change ni thaya sini বিধান সভা থাঙ্গই মন্ত্রী সভা থাঙ্গই ও বিল রঙ তুগুনা নাঙাই তুগুই সানা নাঙাই ই কুমাজু রঙ গামি গামিও গম গামিও তা হসপিটাল যে জায়গা করিখো আ জায়গা কুমাজু রঙ সামং তাঙ্গই দংখো অমাহাই কুমাজু রঙ আইডেন্টিফাই খাইয়ে বরং ন চাকরি হিসাবে রিয়াখনো বরং কিসান হিসাব বরং দিবই বেতন বা কোনো অমাহাই স্কিম রঙ রাং রক রিউই দামান অমাহাই ডিসিশন जों नानानै नांनाय नानानै के तामा खायनाय नरक जे सिक्लारक दिनियाव दंनायरक बारबार दा सदन बुजों नायखा दुइ तिनटा लाइन बाय जों you cannot abstain yourself from indulging into decision making बाहाय के decision making नाय politics सिमा थांनाय भारतबर्ष যদি डेमोक्रेसी सलित दंगाय आ लामा पिनो नों हिमै political platform of participate like nini je one suk mani nini musung mani ro nang abuna implement mak khlai nai okok no sini dakodo dol sawi thanga baksa borok saw na I don't like politics no hamja kun hamja yato kintu nang politics bai no ma tongnai nang jodi change musung khai nang a decision making sammo nang saksano ma bedok nai ini ang balai kau jaga asal kutai wan suwi temu, ang serai bro, ang nubi pakai, ku masuk bahaya serai bersabari, ane lokan awak korsa serai asayu, ang serai no, agak serai ni bagai, orang orang itu selalu habia, hai pun serai ini anu aku mau habika, jaga ku masuk bersabari temu. bus kamu kaisa wa khatami lu awa okai buriyo bafru ka thoni phan soton mani ri sengui poton khlai ka thoni phan bagi ne tini o deito 2026 sengki sini bus kamu ku masuk by bar no ba practically sembaria no abani bagin ang puyo sana ne je honoring the indigenous midwives je khlai tomai ro kaisa koisu ba agi je khlai phaine ro borom moitu khlai se honoring borom rina nago tar mane ne ku masuk by bar saraya sai ya ko samani ya tino jaga je organizer servicing since the host sobralita Boki bi kumasu bedin seranya ta saja bahasa dia. Ingkai zorana bu diwoi sen, zorana musangai, joto samungo sen, tangai mathangnai. Abono sana nai manisi. Sini moderator semua topik ko kesengi tong ni bar sapano. Kisi sang topik ni mane motor ni hate kisa ang khatar no hathang senai. Sen 어저께 세라이로 어그라로 살면은 세라이로 후 who is indigenous? Indigenous sabo. जों आबादाव सायमाना लांनाय indigenous जे बर' हानि बुसा हाबाय गोरोंजा original যদি प्लेन भाषाव आबो सानाखै original ini indigenous ni keman ngai manja जों जरा जरा मानसुबो सिरि हात माइ थाखा एबा माथा Kemahaman abono ipiliman pinai. Oh, sini busang pinan saksang gedami, sembusang awang rumah tangai. Indigenous hermani, abo pai manja, patani paine abo manja. Je original borok habai kesendak, oh thaibe kesendak, bono indigenous. Abo libagino, je sini sikla salayo. Norok khata fedi sini indigenous tabuk seng khorok bombay matong phano salsa seng hai no hai keplai ngui mokhang senawi oh hano seng hai no hai kipili mannai obonani paithak ni message norok jotono na hai no hai hambaya thori jotono kunbaja
Ngai chừng có cái tụ bác sĩ cái giá man rất Maria chừng tầm bái thế thầy em còn ấy đi nhịp borong ya ra khỏi đi hai volunteers số hồi nãy đặt cái bài văn nó borong ya không phải như vậy Thầy đi cái mấy đứa chỉ bàn đầu mà ra thường là cái chúng tôi nó học rồi với làm thường này.
Ambai, chini kok sawi thangai, advocate mintu no, they chini bisingo phai manjak phainai chini madam, bono bo hambai ro, they chini jorak bisi krei ang sapaijak kamaya khuijak tongbai khamai jotono, they aboni bagai ang haina hai koipio the remaining speaker to please restrict yourselves within 5 minutes. I could not do justice for everyone. I'm sorry for that. This is my profession. May I therefore call upon Mrs. Raja Lakshmi Chakma, Raj Lakshmi Chakma, HOD in charge, Kokborok, BBNC.
Gaham jotono dangsawa asukja joto borong ganang chini chakra te chakra jugno ang khulumungya khore ang tinini samoroge khaja khani kokno sanai ang saimon onoro jora gedeng maro moi ora asukja joto na mai khujak tongbai khana hine bogo mai kirei jese kaham borok baikhono lecture di gyan de या साथे खनाके या साथे थांग पाइनाय जों जतन सिउ जों जतन हिउमेन बिस बर आंनि जेसे माइ थुइ दंखा सो आगन बागे आं को खाजा थानिने बानि सालिया पुलानो आं चिनि बरम गोनां डॉक्टर विजय सारनो बेलाइथेनो खाबाय हामबाया फानामु जोंगो अमो हाय कायसा नांगुक मानि पांदावो आनो मानजाय फानेनि बागे कबं मानि बागे Tay onong ni basangwa ang ani khani ko bongno sanamu jungmarong ang thaja sana bagai chef mani bagai belanya hamaisa ang oro phai te ko tong thoka je tini omo haidino chini bari bosarok ni je jung je kumaju ba lumaju thini je sini mani borok no tui tini international level o Kok sana ni bagai je topic tu sangka, as a mother, as a female, I'm very proud যে চিনি বড়ি রঙনি দুঃখ কষ্ট ন বুঝিবই তিনি অমন হাইকে গোबां তিনি সার্চং অবনতি বংনি পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ নারखा आमो जत बड़ी रंगनि बागैनो प्राउडलि कखनि मानु जों बड़ी रंग मानसोगो चिनि दुख कष्ट न के बुझिनाय केरे जेसेखौनो साइदंनि बसाय बसास जोंबो बुझि होने हिया जों जलिउ जोंबो बुझिनाय केरे हेने बड़ी रंग बुमां मानि आवर नेचर गॉड गिफ्टेड दाहिनाय चिनि साके बेलखनो मदायरनो खामि रहका जों ओ हासाकाव जों ओइ संसाराव जों ते कायसा लांमानो कुबनानि बागै अमो हाय कायसा सामुं जों बरि रक मानखा जे सामुं बरि रंनि थानि बेलायनो सेंसिटिभ बासा बरि रक ओ सामुंनो खवायन थांगे बायथानि लांमास दङ रइ थाङो जों अमो हाय कायसा जत बरि रंनो साजा बुमा उमानि जे कष्टनि बिसिंथि थानो किन्तु अमर जत बरि रंनि बागैनो किन्तु बलायजानाय बान्ता तंथकमानि गक आम किन्तु कष्ट तो मानु जों एज ए मदर जों साइमानो जे बोसारावनो जों बाहायके तुबुखा बाहायके कौरै लगे पुसि ताबुकसा जरा तुबुखा चिनि अमर हाय दुख कष्ट रंनो तिनि अमर हायके इंटरनेशनल लेवलनि International the Indigenous Day ba hayongni besarongni salno rogai omo haike chin topic rong narangmar bagai ang beleno tongthokja tei oro je salaimani chini bori rok je agini chini ajuro yani amo sikini main thing tabo 21st century go tongtongo AI ni jog, Twitter ni jog, WhatsApp ni jog, ChatGPT ni jog. जों बस नगद तंत्रजों everything जों पुरा all over the world जों चिन नगद चिन याद गो मथमै मानो अमहाय दिनो जों चिनि दांगाय मा दांगाय बरम रनानि कक सामानि बलायनो आमो माने आमो चिनि कल्चर जानि बागैनो जों चिनि अकरा जात्रा रंनो जों बरम खुलुंगानि जों दाउ प्रग्याखौ जों दाबो 21st century आव बासाल दङबो जों चिनि अकरा जात्रा रंनो बरम जों अकरा जात्रानि जों दाउ प्रग्याखौ बासा तांखाय रांकुसा दंनाय रं गानके बुफानो ताङै गलांमानि बिल्डिं गतर स्रापता बायनो दरजा बाय बखौ सिबायो ताङो because amo jora pedasa got ya anogro shikra tailan cikon nomor hadia balcony ro kuroi কিন্তু আনক সুদলি বাবা রাং পুষা ঠিকই ওই কলমতে ঠিক লাগে তংনানি বাজে তং থামা লোক সিমিয়া আসলে তিনি ইমোশনাল সাহায্য দি স্যার আনো অমো হাই পান্তা রবে রিতো বুখা হাগে obviously আনি বখানি করো না আনতে বনং থানি শেয়ার করাইনা তো আনি কক আসল খালগে খাই তমান বাজে যত অকরা চাকরা তে আনি খাসস স্টুডেন্টস রংনা পাইতো ইয়া হামবাই
madam. You are so caring and understanding for human life. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of buri problem is a little hard to digest. So, okay. Ang tawag rinay borong gunang meser bondu also. Sa pwedeng pwede pore Dr. Sudamoy Devarma. Just 5 minutes each. All please. One more sir.
Barang dengan orang daisa sungai soto degrees, dignitaries, and elders, community leaders, and my dear sisters and brothers. Nara ani pulano hambai marawo tekulmung nino and reserve. Actually, my language is not a corporate, but I try to speak in corporate. As jora tuye sing midwife ni kok nai paika, te kebang macam indigenous rights ni sambonde sing kenaka.
Orang asututui angbo ketal word rok seringka non busika. Kaisa na orang kaisa kaina musumo ani bumung nizer bondu molsom. Bopin ba. Omo bumung ba nizer bondu sak ni friends high meaning tangka. Bangla bucinai rok ke ono kisu bucinai rok. Ani molsom pong sebalik bucinai ba. Indigenous to Kubama, not only particular tribe is indigenous. Indigenous is variety. Kubama tomo. Tripura se halam community se Kubama sul lotako. Ang porjono sainia. Ayan Tripura sa tamo porjono government of Tripura ni home department under o tribe list kariko. More indigenous, they are marginalized. Side Lanka marginalized of the Haina Chinisar Saka. This is very important. Marginalized different respect in different angles Untonha. Kawamano Saimano, Hypano topics in the midwives. Actually, midwives, Jekane Gari, Tangmaya, internet tabu porjono connectivity Gurui. Current gurui tui supply thangmaya ajagao procession official porjonto ajaga sokmaya karon gari thanya ke officer ko thangani seleku akor juta tomo su tomo amor sina amoke gai kiripan thangmar o para rogo se chung midwives actually bro action chung nungsal sura agor playa ya agor abandon of number of hospitals are here. Open hospital private hospital to doctor kuno or kuno midwife nuksaja engai. Midwife actually experience nana nibandi in Thangkai. Sang all high place of Thanga dorkar sina dorkar je aro se midwife actually tam. Actually ang tabuk sana musuman engke kebang masih disasang. Madam Song Saka, midwife, bahaya indigenous tools use kaya. Koroksa cerai asalnya ketal cerai no bahaya protection kaya. O midwife sosiu. Sengkok sana rengo, busu, practically no. Aku ni banggai ang koina musuno, suruh ang koi sinai, request kainai proses no ba group of team no, jara o particular issue not research kayo abono jeno World Indigenous Day, International Day of World Indigenous People o day ni bising tui o midwives are important roi boron is indigenous tools of techniques how to safeguard the newborn baby abono rules boron is kaisa structure tonai model tonai abono nawai Seng judi expose kaimat hangkai, in written form judi tu buma hangkai. Seng jod orang kenanai ya kena orang kurui borok sinai, seng expose kaimanai wall lobo, dictionary senamai, library lobo seng orang ton manai. Angka kayo, sini joint action committees plus civil societies rock, omni. Step nada ini angka kayu. Tapi ang thaisno ang samani kaisa ani bumung ni serbondu. Actually ani ko ongken nazir. Jor bumung ni ser hai. Kubang masih sentuh. Ain bangai te ko kok basalia dorak bang nakana ani ko sab ni kuno sobdo. Jadi saya kai nakadi sakan kai ono seng age telanai. Hambai Happy World Indigenous Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Tabuk Cindustang Sanai Dr. Sugamai Teperma. Please, within 5 minutes. Okay? Young minds, young thoughts. Zotoni Bondong Kapurman.
Respected dignitaries and my dear friends, I think I'm the youngest on the panelists today, and I'm a Gen Z actually. So Gen Z, we have to be more relevant, no? Of course, I'm not an expert on midwife or whatever it is like. So today I would like to touch on three things, but before that, I have a question to Wani. You see this beautiful poster here? It's a poster for Pevazak on the stage. So, can you tell me which tribe this is? About tribe or Zak, what photo is that? Or any monkey, what tribe me? Anyone from the audience? Which tribe this is? Okay, so I'll tell you about this today. I'm going to speak on three things. I'll be speaking about AI, artificial intelligence, identity, and soft power. Okay, I'll try to make it concise and try to cover it in 3 minutes. So first, use and misuse of AI. See, when it comes to one of the themes, cultural identity and protection of our identity, right? So how can we preserve our identity? How can we preserve our culture using AI? This is very important. I'm here in the audience, all of us, we have used AI, like most of us, to do our homework or to create pictures or to follow the trend. There was some Ghibli trend and whatnot back then. But have you ever tried to do one thing? So AI depends on the data that it is given. Okay. And what's happening is, especially in the context of Tripura, our data are sparse. Scarcity is there. The data scarcity is there, and because of that, AI is not able to churn out relevant data to our Tripuri, like our identity. That's one. So I think we can strive. Okay, we can strive to. I'll come to the solutions as well. How can we do this? And one more thing I like to touch is about our soft power. Okay, I don't know if I am sure many of us are familiar with this term.
I think AI is out of the topics. Please.
Yes.
Within the topic.
So see, how can we preserve our culture? How can we preserve our, what is cultural preservance? Okay, what do we mean when we say preserving our culture? This is our second theme today. So when we preserve our culture, this is what we showcase actually. How we showcase and the consumption of media today, how we consume things today. It has evolved with time. We mostly consume content on our social media, on our reels. And that is how we present ourselves to media consumption from all over the world, how we are consuming them. So on our destiny, on your state ni borok nai tomorrow, since the content sanaman yawan mayo, am thinking of chini culture go viral thango. So we need to be very careful how we preserve and how we present ourselves on social media as well. There is one form of cultural preservation, and these are all connected. Because the more we create authentic contents, the more it's going to go out there, and the more it's going to be preserved. So this is my message to my young friends today, our young generation, the Gen Z. You try to be careful of what you create, and maybe all of us together we can, work together on preservation of our culture. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sudhamoy Devarma. We have the last and the final speaker, Olympic Devarma. Please. After that, please, the audience, please be ready. You are given 5 to 6 minutes of time to share your views or any questions. If you have, you can please put it forward to the experts.
Jodono Sari Kaham, Palaikha Hambai Sini Joint Action Committee for Civil Societies, Omahai Jodari Manibagai. Sini ini team, World Indigenous team. Amunote ang hingkai kay responsibility no tribus kanggo kanya ni tabu. Sini team midwife okno bahike sen recognize kanya ni आबनो नलेज दं जों साइसे माने दङ इभेन आंबो आं सानबाय थां आंनि नाङा आनो सामान बिजि आं सानबाय खरसा माजे बन आनो नगो आं दिन बिसे टिक्लाइनो आचायो सो आबो सिन्थानो नलेज दं सिगंगाय आबनो जा गायथां सामाने रिकगनाइज जों अलरेडि आबनो रिकगनाइज थायो तारमाने रिफ्लेक्ट थायो आबनो जों रेसपन्सिबल नावै आबनो मोथांनानै हिगाय जों डकुमेन्टेसन खालायनानै documentation finance second so nakungan in gakai sin borok the indigenous people we have to do the decolonizing of mind sangap saimana nangai what is decolonizing of mind decolonizing of mind chung this is slight superior tongnai borok je narrative set thaimani babong ni language bong ni chumung chamung abo hikeno kusukni sin hikai tolan singkha abo nyawoi Sini albo ucuk ini sing wansungane abono nanane tam ni keseng atau motivational speaker oni kugo khnao tam khna mini enemy ke boya mini enemy te khorokse ya mini enemy ka you own self is your biggest enemy isn't all enemy no matching ma kan kai sing sini the ini team organization finally reflect finally their responsibility now we so muthanga nani gabut sen or decolonizing of mind of pai sen buskam phagai sen manai so aburi bagi chin sikaro buskam finally tai sen this sampun khai sen poriwo sen baksa medical poriwo engineer poriwo social science poriwo sen this background for pori tong sen research finally was sini borok buskam ya present research khai nung doctor phanang tongni nung koroksa school teacher phanang tongni research khane no khabe siklaro special thing siklaro am suno belaikna hambai
olympic diploma ini kamos sai thaman bagai obabai no chile panel speaker expert speaker rome of samong PALAIKHA tradition hai hai te waisa pal khebor ma ya khorobui hambai royan tabo sini bisingo quickly let us go one round na sini bisingo je senani ba kita sanani ro mo supero fa kidati kita salayui sangai pailena boro I hope you are ready to answer the query okay self sanai to yak pisali sungai sungmanu sal saimanu fast Jinjora kom okay please
Ani sing muke sampai dari sana sir ani kaisa to agi kenapa di sini aku lewo sini agi raja rong di simlang to mone sini ni amo joint action committee ni ke beautification ni kaisa already agi ro step na ta kana amo ni kita position sai manam sini mintu samno kaisa samna ni ke mainly वो sini pisam model je sini ADC area je ngomongni amoni status ni sai
sorry I think I cannot allow this question because it's out of the topics anyway if you have time we'll give you all with theme topics ni bisingo well very last one ready compass run
Fusion enrich indigenous culture or does it dilute them?
yes repeat
Does cultural diffusion enrich indigenous culture or does it dilute them?
I can, should I? Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, the question is really good. See, we have to understand depending on the context. Diffusion has its own context, and one thing is, see, it has its own powers, own strengths, okay? I know how indigenous we are having our own modernity, we are moving with our own path. Yeah, thank you.
it's not a dilution
We are going with our own path. We are
fast yeah
Let them all come and stand.
I can do one thing. No, but I'm not paying. Sing my own. Please come.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is on the second theme, which is the protection of cultural identity. So, as we know that Northeast is mainly famous for its music, and music is a way to also exploit our culture. So, in today's time, where we see the other states of the Northeast doing very well with the music, and whereas Tripura, there's a trend which is called superstars in most of the villages, where they bring people and let them dance, and many of them dance in traditional dresses. So do you think that brings this conversation about our culture to the other parts of India and also other parts of the world?
Next question.
His question is to whom?
Yeah, anyone can answer. Wait. Yeah, please tell. Tell. Yeah, ask.
Okay, my question is to everyone that as a student, we talk about, we have listened lots of about preservation. So my question is, as a student, how can we preserve, and also what are the policy changes that can be brought into so that the traditional midwife can be integrated into modern medical system? That was my question.
Very nice questions. Please, anyone like to answer?
Regarding this first question, regarding our culture, about superstar, I think it's a disturbing phenomenon is going on among our society, among the young generation. Some sections they are very limited in number. But see, when they are doing this now, when there is this era of the social media now, whenever the perfume the superstar, it goes viral, no? And if you see, if it crosses the boundary of Tripura, if people of all over India, they see, this is the culture of different people. Those who are promoting this superstar culture or who are hosting, they must be aware of. They should be those people, those events of society, they don't have a self-respect. They should have self-respect. How this is our indigenous culture, our this Jalguni, the music. See, just a couple of weeks before, Prime Minister, he mentioned about this, that campaign. And last day, yesterday, the world, what day, the handloom day. And he showed a Rigna and this is so beautiful, this thing. See, whatever indigenous one is original, it has the weight, it has the honor. But if you don't destroy it, you are destroying your identity.
Let's come to the second question.
The second question is about the beautiful everybody at the present context. What I feel, we should parties, we should document it, document it, and for the rare condition where the communication is for the emergency purpose only, we can teach this midwifery. But we have to document. Document is very important because it is part of the history, part of our culture. This is our elders practice this kind of how they deal with this is death, birth, marriage, and these are the important events in our life. How our elders manage those events, it has to be documented. It has to be documented, it has to be done. Still, see, by Torubala, they are very issues, but we can talk with them and we can document all and it should be written in a book form or digital form. We have to preserve it.
Okay, thank you. We are still, you see, we are still in the initial stage. This is the year that International Indigenous Day has put it as a theme. So it is we who decided upon whether we want to go forward with that or not. So maybe today, I think the organizers are interested. They will take it forward. We are ready to materialize the process. So next, Anthony wants to answer. He says. So I would request that the earlier first questions is it is more or less another domain, so we can have discussion later on that. The second part you can answer.
Right. See, preserving
the culture are suitable. As many of the speaker has actually mentioned into a different angle and different dimensions. What I would like to emphasize is that you and I and every one of us, every individual has to preserve our culture. I know modernizations you need to pop up, but even if the modernization comes, you should not dilute or you should not forget your roots, your that culture. Culture should be preserved and that should be practiced when times and when the occasion comes. I'm not saying that every day you have to observe and you have to practice that, but occasionally you have to preserve and you have to wear that kind of traditional dress. Or when you say, if you are playing music, if it is traditional, you have to confine to a traditional. You don't dilute, you don't mix up with that. So the moment you dilute and the moment you mix up, then that is not called a traditional or preservation. It has to be very pure and very holistic and it has to be practiced.
Thank you. Thank you. So with this, I think we wind up our session. Okay, you want? Okay, last questions, please. Too fast.
I just want to share a thought.
Oh, very short.
Yeah, sure. First, I'm going to throw a Western reference. So, how many of you have watched Spider-Man brand new days which was released recently? I believe if I hop onto an audience of 100 of people, at least 90 of them have either watched it or know the story of Spider-Man. But my question is, especially among the youth, Khorok Basar, Chetwan, Kerenba, Raima Madi, Fogasavan Bai. Today, as I said, among the youth, if you go to the 100 of an audience, 90 of them know about it, but barely a handpicked a few amount of people know about it. But why is it? The major problem with the people, among the indigenous people, which is us, is that we are lazy to know about our own roots and explore our culture. Moreover, we are ashamed, we are shy to discuss our own cultural traditional stories or folk tales, even among our peers. Forget about discussing about amongst your friends from other cities or some random strangers where we are shy to talk about it, even among our peers. Whereas you can talk about other things such as Marvel, DC, K-pop, anime. In the Gen Z term, you can say Yapawadi the dog.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Got your point.
Yeah.
I think the answer is deep in your heart.
I can
You don't need to answer that.
No, I think that I just
Well, we do not have time.
See, just one is that now this is the era of the technology. You have the social media, and now we need to present the way where if we can reach out to the Gen Z through YouTube, through this thing, you can animate, you can create, but with mentally originality, and you can present all our Keramba or this Kochukhasika or whatever, all the folk tales, and you animation form, in a audible form, you can do it. So you need to transfer. Really, our grandma, grandpa, they are the they should teach us, but now time is changed. Anyway,
Thank you so much. With this, we come to an end of the seminar session, and we are very fortunate to have Chini MLA Zil, Nandita Diang, Debor Manomane, Jungbalai, Hatong Pogotili, okay, Botini seminar Paimani Paisingo, Sino Kok Pesa Tiny Namani Kok Sawi, Pairi Paisini, Antono Kobogo. I request you, madam, to please. Thank you.
Jotono sari kaham to balai no hambai ini
International World Indigenous Day was a civil society by 2000 the DASARATH BHAVAN the program. All daisho tangai joto doctors rock they didn't organize the kainai engineers advocate joto the civil society o tangai joto no belai na hambai kaisa no belai ke kha tongthogo khaksan kangai kintu by Besan Kai Chini, Pasmus or Bagi Chini Chia, Sayama, Bagi Himala Antini, World Indigenous Day, they have to DASARATH BHAVAN program only to Bonkai, Naina Hini famous Tabu Chia Rangue Asugay Matomo, Kitu Chino, by Besan Chia Chao, Chaya Haimahida, Sanizis Kaisa, Kunu Shomoyo, Kunu Jagathan, Kesana Alada Babe, Suno invitation, Rizaya Ponose, Suno with welcoming Haikanke. Bahai tadi kemana tu? Habro hak sesuatu yang tongfogo, bah desa kangen only program notice tak kai bahai ke anbau tu jago. Hai bahai pun orang kano je tini jola rika, belai no desa hampai mari filo. Engai tini ni je World Indigenous Day wo. Asingo esipuri hisabe kaisa je pok saka, angbo belai ke tongfogo pulawang or pulawa supro je banner. Tini the themes, the COP no important deal tini topic seminar plus tini World Indigenous Day the topic the samani. Belai ke one sumani COP tam ke the midwives ni the COP samani. Sen agi sen Simon tini gumaro buriro. Doktor kaham greifu para amsayo lama kaham ungia doktor felene aku kuno doktor subdivision of kaisa rokse himano aku doktor tabuk to sub center bibinno PSC center aku tabuk tomu inga aku rogo je chini bumaro chini nana song the generation je besabuti ongoi kaimano kebo taksuk jora o boya songka Abuno preserve kainani ko kuno jaga wang khanaya ko kintu belai ki tini o je topic civil society wise o tini nangkuk mani topic no borini bagi je one sugoi bumar ni bagi je one sugoi je topic na zamana belai ke tolawa supruwa ang poila fai jokon khnaka banner porikha belai ke ka tongtogo inga amoni bising ke tini je chini daiso tongai different tini je speaker of je kok saka kintu onekjon je holo tongai students new generation Gen Z omono baksa sia angnai sia pon ongmano ba sinai pon tongai kintu or belai ke boro kahama kai pai to point tini boro oro clear ke boro moklaika kintu omono je preserve khailani tini World Indigenous Day ni kisinte kok ti samani wo je omono bahai ki kichung nalmani obo ang kaisano sanai bai himale agi jetu buriba koks chung buriro onekjon agi ansai je okra je anse okra je tongayo porok delivery una kanke ase pure omola jinan kok gya kintu or jehetu student ratuang na tonggo kintu omo sanani kaisa ani se jo okra tongairo basa bohog busano te delivery una pro doctor delivery una kankai lasi sako kaisa sawano mane kiriu apuni dino tam kankai bises kai parawo kumazu khino je kumazu bangla bhito dapri kumazu bai kankai aram se Nova asge delivery mana baksa buriro doctor thana kiriu tam kankai doctor thakankai raja gohini kiriu hayar bai jara okra thongairo raja na kini kirise thangla gya kintu tabu ke tamka generation change sangani sang amon je advance thangka na yang facing tongo na yang facing tongo tabu sini one sungani different suppose song tabu ke no delivery thangke baksa cherai no tongo tam nimbange tam ni ungo Himalaya baksa chenje an nana song ni jugong kanke ang je khnamani ani parawo kaisa tongo माने कुमाजो ताको तंगु कथांनो बो आनी जतुतो पाराओ डॉक्टर काइसोर थांगिया जदि बुसा उल्टां फन औ ठीक खायनानि बाहाय के डिलीवर खाने बो कामा के खायनानो किंतु बाहाय के बो मान खायना आं सिंका बाहाय के मान के बो बोरनि सिंका माले आगिफ्रु काइसो रूम तंगु डॉक्टर बाय जो तो पाराओ जेहेतु लामा हामिया जे डॉक्टर थांगी सकमैया डॉक्टर निया थानि फाइनानि असुबिदा ओंति हायके पारा आमसाइनि बुरि रंनो नावै डॉक्टर ट्रेनिंग खायमानि बिसिंतिसे बरक हायके रुंगो ने आं साइमा काकु किंतु ताबुं दिंकांके रोंनाय करिनि बागेना ताबुसुं पाराओ जोंना अंमाया किंतु बासो दंगो माने कोनो मते बड़ डॉक्टरनि थाने समेना माने सुबिदा करि कांगे बड़ बादो नगोफानो बरक दिते पारेंगो नंगे ताबुनि जेनारेशन के तामुका स नॉर्मली डिलीवरी खेनासो ताबुके चिनकिरि था डॉक्टर फाइस से नॉर्मली दिबा आगे नि बुई रोके डॉक्टर फाइकांगे राजा लो हिनि किरि से डॉक्टर फाइरा गया ताबुनि जेनारेशन के नॉर्मल डिलीवरी न किरि से डायरेक्ट बहुत लारी हुइसे ताबुसो ताम खाइका चिनि जेनारेशन कम खाइ बासे ताबुसिनि तांगे इंडिजिनियस दे बिसिंतिनो अनुसार ताबुसिनि टुक्रासा दोफा तांगे कम जों माने जोंनो डिफरेंट बिग बाय जोंनो जनसंख्या कम खाइनाबो ओ जे प्रोसेस चालू खाय आबो जों सिथाय दरकार ओंखाय ताबु जे प्रिजार्भ खायनि कम सामने जेहेतु सिविल सोसाइटी थ्रुते ओ जे टॉपिक नोटिस सामने आं दिस सिविल सोसाइटी ना आं रिक्वेस्ट खायना मोजो आंबो अमनो सपोर्ट खायो ओंखाय ताम गांके जों अमनो जुदि प्रिजार्भ खायनांके आगिनि दिनो जे बाबे डॉक्टर बाय ट्रेनर खायजागो कुमाजो रनो ट्रेन रिजागो ट्रेनर माने बाय परेसे पर कुमाजो मानो गांके जेहेतु अरो दिने ओ टॉपिक जों अमनो जों दिनि टीटीएडीसी थ्रु रे जों खायनाय सिविल सोसाइटी दिनो अमनो एजेंट दानो कायसा जों टीटीएडीसी वो कायसा कुमाजो तारा आमसाइ वो जे डॉक्टर हाचाल बरनो ट्रेन खायनानै बागे कायसा कॉपी समाके खूब जानाय ने आं वानसुबो ओंखायते कॉग्लाव रिगला तुमांखाय दिनै जेहेतु प्रोग्राम कलमांका आं कायसा प्रोग्राम थांबायो रबिन्द्र भवनो आ प्रोग्राम पाइसा अरो फाया हायबो बेलायखे तंथका दिनै जेबाबे मेन टॉपिक नथि जे बाबे दिनै सेमिनार प्लस दिनै इंडिजिनियस डे पालो मानि सालोबो ओंते हाय कम नथि समाने बागे ओंखाय जुदि से आनि कम जाया तंबो आनुना करदे हायबो दिनै दिनो पैसा जे इन वर्ल्ड इंडिजिनियस डे बा जेबाबे स्टूडेंट्स रो जीएनसी नरम जीएनजी रो थासिगो अनेकटा क्वेश्चन खायगासिनि कालचार बाहाय के खायने बा नरम से तिनी वर्ल्ड इंडिजिनियस डे ओ नरम नि साबोसे कालचार नि कुनो काममानि गयखो ओंखाय जों आरो प्रिजार्भ खायनांखाय जावन थासिंसिनि डॉक्टर बसाव आं जेहेतु दिनै साका रियां द बर्मा किंतु आं अथच दिनै ड्रेस जुमानि कायसा उचै ड्रेस जुनो अमंखा आनि मानि ड्रेस उचै ड्रेस दिनै कल्चर इंडिजिनियस विभिन्न सारा भारत कप इंडिजिनियस सानाय मोर देन 7000 तो जों कायसा जों माने कायसाया सुदु त्रिपुराया ऑल ओवर इंडिया से वाल से 7000 ऊपर दिनै इंडिजिनियस फरक तो आपनि बिसिंगल निनि दिनै जे कप जों कप सामाने आलादा चाम कानमानि चुमानि चामानि नंमानि तांमानि different जाति के different कायसा मो तो आपनो नन generation जीन पनो अपनो चिनी प्रिजार्भ खायनांखाय जों अमनो नारुनांखाय ओमते हाय सालो नरबो कल्चरल ड्रेस एटलिस्ट कल्चरल कानमुं सुनानि दरकार ताम थांके जों different नरक सोशल मीडिया रे दंगो जीएनजी जिनि सारा वर्ल्ड नरक मोबाइल नुक सोशल मीडिया ओ नुकनाय आसाम कांके आसामीज ड्रेस चुमोय दिनै नागांके नागामीज ड्रेस चुमोय ओंखाय दिनै एसे आनि ट्राइ आं रियां आं दाबरमा आं जमातिया आं उचय दिनै कानमानि बायसे जों सिनि जागो कांके अमनो दिनै ओ कानमानि चुमाय नो जों दिसाय जों अमनो नागना नांगौ अमो दिनै सिनिमो आमनो जों इंडिजिनियस हिसाबै जों विभिन्न कल्चर ड्रेस वेस्टार्न ड्रेस को चुमो जागा चुमना जागा तो किंतु जे जागाव चिनि कानमानि चुमानि चुमान जागा Aro kai sing abono no macung nai. Omo kok kusare ni kok pai ke joto no. Sebenarnya hambai.
Hambai leram no. Bini asike kaham kok suno kejagulan mana. Jagai terus ang borong apa ni bersama kami jagai kok kebelah kaham saya kelan ha. Ciri jar kaya jagai apa jumpa kau tu nyamak kaya kan muncung samung kau tu banyak. Jagai hari babi no jumpa ni kau orang apa kaham kena thai jagai tapi jumpa sekarang masih bertang lagi. Tapi langsung kok nama ni ulawa ang go prepare kaya ni nai tapi jumpa jam